What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to analyze the tape of Kiran Amegadjie, a football player who doesn't have a lot of tape from the 2023 season, but the tape he does have, this is a guy with a lot of upside. And today we're going to analyze this guy's tape. There's a lot of things he does really well. And of course, he played at Yale, so you already know the guy's going to be a very smart football player, and there's just a ton of tape to really back that up. I'm really excited to get into this one. Let's just jump right into it. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and just get right into the tape. We're going to look at a ton of different snaps with Amegadjie. We're going to really analyze what this guy does when it comes to zone blocking, how he makes contact, how he reaches, how he flips the hips. We're going to look at how he does all the little things on tape. This is a really nice snap here to make contact and to flip the hips and ultimately end up winning on this rep. So one of the things I really like with Amegadjie is the guy has good footwork. He understands blocking angles, and on this one it's just a really nice job to kind of showcase that. So he's going to first and foremost take a step to his right. Helmet's going to land to the right side of this defensive lineman. As he makes contact, he's low. And then look at him just work the legs and the hips to the right. And he ends up setting himself up perfectly to the inside of this defensive lineman. To me, just an absolute beautiful job by the left tackle here to be able to really rotate the hips, seal it off, which allows the running back to pick up about 7 yards. Let's go ahead and get into the next snap. You got another really solid rep by Amegadjie. Once again, he's going to climb up to the second level. He's going to put this guy into the ground. Just a really solid football player. One of the things you're going to know play in and play out is how solid this guy's technique is. The footwork, the ability to double and climb or reach or backside, frontside reach. The guy's very solid. It's something you really like to see on tape, especially in college. Just kind of sticking to talking about this guy's technique. He's going to have a backside block here. This is a power run, so it's a little bit different than a backside block where you have to reach a guy. Once again, just a really nice job. When you watch certain guys, they don't do this right. With Amegadjie, he's going to make sure to check the 3 technique first, so you'll see him here step down. As the 3 technique is sealed off by the center, he's going to then turn his eyes over to the guy coming off the edge, and then he's going to make sure to shut him down as well. That right there is exactly how you want to do it. And I know some people are going to say, hey, this is really a big deal. It absolutely is. Because the way you do things, play in, play out in every single different concept, it's going to translate. You know, if you tell a tackle that, hey, on a backside power run, this is how you have to do it. And there's a reason why it gets taught the way it ultimately gets taught. It's been proven to be effective. And the theme here I see with Amegadjie is the guy's very solid when it comes to his technique. And it's definitely one of the reasons why I really like Kiran Amegadjie. Now, I don't know if he's going to be an absolute star at the next level. I'm going to have to see him actually play and do what he did at Yale against NFL competition. One of the things with small school guys is sometimes the competition just isn't that of NFL caliber players. And going from college to the NFL is a completely different ballgame. So for me, I want to actually see how he does in camp and preseason, and I actually really look forward to really analyzing this guy at that time. Now, of course, I'm not saying this guy's going to be a bust or anything like that. What I'm saying is there's definitely traits that we see on tape that will translate into the NFL. Take this next one as an example. The guy's a very solid mover, and it's one of the things I really like with Amegadjie. Specifically, when he gets his hands on a guy, he can latch and he can mirror really well. So I think one of the important characteristics with an offensive tackle is they have to be able to move. And what that means is when you get out of your stance and you make contact with the guy, well, this guy's going to want to get off the block. So you, as an offensive tackle, have to be able to mirror that. If this guy goes to the inside, you got to be able to kind of get to that same side. If he tries to fake you from inside out, as this defensive end is trying to do, you got to be able to move and you got to be able to stay on top of that. Right? So one of the things with Amegadjie is he's very solid when it comes to being able to mirror guys. And you see that play in, play out. It's just something that really sticks out to me. And I do think this is one of the things Ryan Poles looked at with this kid and said, this is what we want, right? We want a guy that can move well at the tackle position. Now, another thing that I think Ryan Poles really liked with Amegadjie is the little things he does on tape that from a coaching standpoint really sticks out. Now, I want to just look at a couple of snaps of the little things he does do. Starting with this first play right here. Watch him gallop into this tackle here, and he's going to really put his body weight into it. Just a really solid job galloping. Then he's going to climb up to the second level. He's going to seal that one off as well. Just a really solid job by Amegadjie. These are the little things I like to look for because I think these are the things that general managers and offensive line coaches want. They want to make sure their guy can do the advanced techniques. You know, it's a power run as a tackle and you're uncovered. You got to be able to put that weight into that defensive lineman and help him out. Now, of course, I also want to make this point. Kiran Amegadjie played at Yale. So a lot of these guys that he's playing with are not going to actually be NFL players. Here's a great example of what I'm trying to say. Amegadjie does a great job pushing this defensive lineman out of there. This guard should be able to flip the hips and shut down number 95. You see 95 just get right past him, get off the block, and he's going to basically end up getting him there making the play. Now that should not happen with the type of double team that guard ultimately received. It's not a big deal, just wanted to kind of point that out. Let's get into the next snap. Alrighty guys, you got another really solid rep here by Amegadjie. He's going to do a really nice job just being able to reach the defensive end, get out in front of it, seal it off. It's a really nice play. It's just a simple wide zone concept. And one of the things I really like with this is as an offensive lineman, you really just need your tackle to get out in front of this guy. If that happens, the running back basically has an outside lane. Of course, the guard has to climb, and then these guys are all probably pretty much going to be outside the play. But you see with Amegadjie, he's going to do a great job once again just being able to get to that right side of the defensive end. Love how he attacks this one. You see the footwork's very, very clean as well. To me, just a really solid job once again. This one picks up about 4 to 5 yards. Let's go ahead and get to the next snap. Watch the processing here. He's going to get out of his stance, pick up number 18, shut it down. Just a really solid job. One of the things with Kiran Amegadjie is he is very smart. As I stated earlier in this video, very smart. He's able to process well. And the fact that he moves well also kind of allows him to do things that I think some tackles struggle to do sometimes. A guy who doesn't process or move very well that's kind of struggled in the NFL would be a guy like Evan Neal out of Alabama. He plays with the Giants. He really struggles to process, and it was one of the big issues with him coming out of college, and it's just never clicked for him. Now, on the other end, with a guy like Amegadjie, he moves pretty well, he processes pretty well, and I think those two traits will allow him to possibly have success as he gets into the NFL. Right, so that's one thing to kind of keep in mind as we go forward. Let's go ahead and get to the next snap. Now, I think Amegadjie's pretty damn strong, and I think his strength is a little underrated. I want to show you guys a couple of examples of that, starting with this first snap right here. He's going to down block, and he's going to just move this linebacker out of there. And he gets physical at the end of this, as you see too. And these are the little things I really like with this guy's tape. Just getting physical, getting low. I mean, look at how low he is. The dude is 6'5", and he is underneath the linebacker that's probably about 6'1" or 6'2". That right there is absolutely incredible. Love how low he gets. Look at the movement here, and then look at him absolutely throw this guy to the ground. That right there is what I love to see on tape. Physical player, absolutely underrated part of this guy's tape. Let's go ahead and get to the next snap. Alright, guys, got another one here. Once again, just playing physical, putting people under the ground. Just a really, really solid job. Let's get into the next snap. You got another physical block. Keep an eye on Amegadjie on this one. He's going to take this defensive lineman, move him 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 yards, and then bury his ass. Beautiful, beautiful block. Let's go ahead and get into the next snap. Now, of course, you guys have seen him put some people down. Here's another one where he ends up doing a great job in pass pro, ends up burying someone. But that strength that this guy has definitely translates also into the run game. You get a power run on this one as an example where he gets physical and he absolutely moves someone. He moves this guy out of the gap. And you got another one. This one's zone run, so he's able to do it in both power and zone. But in this zone run here, as you guys are going to see, he's going to do a phenomenal job just moving this guy. Amegadjie's going to block out, and look at him just get physical at the defensive end. Turn him out, which is going to give the running back that lane and opportunity to be able to hit the hole. To me, this is such a great job by Amegadjie, not only making contact with his defensive end, but straight up moving his ass. Nowadays, we're seeing so many offensive tackles get stopped in their tracks. It's rare that guys get physical and actually get moved off the spot. You see Amegadjie do that with his defensive end. He turns him, and he's going to keep the feet going. He's going to keep moving this guy. He's going to continue to chop, and you're going to see him move this guy about 3 to 4 yards. Just a really solid job right there. Let's go ahead and get to the next snap. Now, of course, everybody's going to talk about the competition. Yale going up against Morgan State, a team that probably doesn't really produce NFL talent. And you can definitely hold that against this guy, but I'm going to try not to do that as I analyze this guy. I told myself that the best way to analyze guys is by looking at raw traits. Ryan Poles is a former offensive lineman. The guy has done a great job drafting some great talented offensive linemen. He's brought in some good players, right? He's been able to see guys from other teams, and he's made it work, right? And to me, for him to invest a 3rd round pick in Amegadjie means that he saw something within this guy's traits that wanted him to have this guy specifically. Now, I really like some of what I've seen from this guy, but again, as I stated earlier, I really need to see Amegadjie take what he did at Yale and translate that into the NFL. I really want to see what this guy does in that very first preseason game, because Amegadjie definitely has a ton of upside, but the fact that he played at Yale, at least for me, I'm going to be a little bit hesitant with this guy. Now, again, a lot of really solid traits. He has all the physical tools to be a great football player, great movement, really solid hips, is smart as hell. And I think his arm length is definitely underrated. He has over 36-inch arms. And I think all that's going to allow him to possibly have the tools to translate into the NFL. He'll have to take his game from college and translate that into the NFL, right? To me, Amegadjie has all the upside in the world. Like, I think this guy could absolutely translate into being a pretty solid football player at the next level. But I do think coaching will definitely be a big part of it. I'm excited to watch this guy as he gets into preseason, as he gets into camp, see what we get out of him. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, consider subscribing. And we will be covering this guy as we go forward. And we'll definitely continue to cover the Bears this upcoming season. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time with another video.